This right here is the first artificial black hole in human history. But nobody expected that when humanity actually went inside, they'd find something way more terrifying than hell itself. By the year 2040, human tech has gone through the roof. Physicists figured out a way to fold space. It's kinda like a teleportation door that lets you jump from one end of the universe to the other. They sent out a spaceship called the Event Horizon to explore the absolute limits of our solar system. But right after cruising past Neptune, this ship representing the absolute peak of human technology just vanished into thin air, leaving behind a massive unsolved mystery. Fast forward to 2047, our guy is Dr. Weir, a scientist working in space, who's tagging along on a rescue ship for a mission. Maybe it's because he's been up there way too long, but Weir keeps hearing these weird, unexplained noises and even hallucinating, which totally freaks him out. Dr. Weir gets back to the rescue ship and briefs the crew. Look, just a few days ago, HQ picked up a signal from the Event Horizon, the exact same ship that went radio silent years ago. Now, they gotta head out to Neptune, run some scans, and track it down. They want to know what the heck happened to this ship during those missing 7 years. And here's the thing, Weir actually designed it. Since the reason behind its disappearance has always been a total mystery, there's no way they're passing up this chance now that they've caught its signal. Alright, everything's good to go, and the rescue ship is about to punch it to full speed. The doc and the crew strap into their stasis pods without a hitch. After cruising for 56 days, the rescue ship, the Lewis and Clark, finally arrives near Neptune. Once they're out of stasis and catch their breath, everyone gathers in the command center. Dr. Weir plays a distress signal from the Event Horizon. It's basically just an audio recording with almost zero dialogue, just this hollow white noise and all sorts of agonizing screams. The doc explains that after filtering and analyzing the audio, they're 100% sure these are human voices. But one crew member who actually knows Latin catches a super muffled phrase buried in the crazy background noise. It sounds an awful lot like someone saying, "Save me." Suddenly, the alarm goes off, cutting their discussion short. The Lewis and Clark has just locked on to the Event Horizon's location. Just as they're slowly pulling up to it, massive lightning and thunder tear through the sky outside, and their whole ship starts shaking violently. The thick fog clears up, and this gigantic spaceship appears right in front of them. It's the long-lost Event Horizon. First, they run a full scan of the ship with their probes. The entire hull is completely intact, and they actually pick up faint life signs. But the weird part is that these life signs seem to be scattered all over the entire ship. Since the feedback data is super sketchy, Captain Miller decides to head inside the Event Horizon to see what's really going on. Just to play it safe, Dr. Weir is left behind on their ship to run point. Led by Miller, two heavily armed crew members finally crack open the dusty doors of the abandoned ship. Right now, there's zero gravity inside, with stuff just floating everywhere. The three of them split up to search the place. Both the gravity and heating systems have been completely shut off, dropping the internal temp to near freezing. Honestly, even if the whole crew was still on board, there's no way they could have survived this. Miller heads out to set up scanners all over the ship. Meanwhile, the medic, Peters, steps into the cockpit and stumbles onto the remains of the Event Horizon's crew. Every single one of them died in the most gruesome way possible. This absolutely horrifying scene seriously shakes every member of the rescue team. And trust me, things are about to get a whole lot weirder. Justin, a young guy on the rescue squad, makes his way to the core of the Event Horizon. The thing looks like this constantly spinning sphere. The doc explains over the comms that this right here is the heart of the whole ship. It's the exact device that opens up the space-folding wormhole. But right when Dr. Weir is getting all hyped up explaining how it works, their comms suddenly cut out. And that pitch-black circular core right in front of Justin instantly blasts this blinding light and rips open a bizarre portal. The entrance is covered in this pitch-black rippling liquid. Justin reaches out and barely taps it. Boom! The massive gravitational pull drags him right in. A massive shockwave violently blasts right out of the gravity drive. This crazy energy wave instantly sweeps through the entire ship and even hits their rescue vessel, with the Lewis and Clark taking heavy damage. Miller makes the call for everyone to board the Event Horizon. One by one, the whole crew piles into this incredibly creepy ship. Even though the crew rushes in and pulls Justin out without a single scratch on him, the guy is completely paralyzed and basically catatonic. Nobody has a clue what the heck actually happened to him inside that gravity drive. The rescue squad manages to reboot the gravity and heating systems on the Event Horizon. Then, they start digging through the ship's video logs, trying to figure out the truth behind how the crew met such a brutal end. At the exact same time, they start patching up their own ship so they can get the hell out of there at a moment's notice. After that sudden disaster, everyone is feeling super on edge about this rescue mission. It's especially true for Captain Miller, who literally watched that circular core morph from a solid straight into a liquid. Under Miller's intense pressure, Dr. Weir finally spills the beans. Turns out, the core of the Event Horizon is literally a spatial gateway. It's made of 3 magnetic rings, and when they line up perfectly, they create an artificial black hole. This triggers that instant teleportation effect, letting the ship jump to literally any point in space. In theory, this spatial gate shouldn't just open up on its own, but after what happened to Justin, Miller seriously doubts how safe this thing really is. He orders the entire area locked down, even though Weir is pretty pissed about it. While the crew is busy fixing their ship, things get seriously messed up. Almost everyone on board starts seeing crazy hallucinations. And the messed up part is that these visions are usually about their deepest, darkest traumas that they just can't let go of. Like, Dr. Weir keeps seeing his dead wife just wandering around him. Meanwhile, the captain actually sees one of his former crew members screaming at him while engulfed in flames. Then, Justin, who is completely out cold, somehow wanders right into an airlock without anyone noticing. He's got this totally dead stare and claims he saw a dark version of himself from another dimension. Acting totally out of his own control, he steps into the airlock, and the sudden loss of pressure makes him start coughing up blood. They manage to save his life, but he ends up completely disfigured from the ordeal. Alright, now the crew is genuinely panicking because this ship is just way too freaky. They all group up again and realize that these aren't just hallucinations caused by too much CO2. This crazy stuff is actually happening in real time. The captain starts suspecting that after they fired up the engine, this ship literally went straight to hell. And that's exactly where they managed to record that insanely horrifying, bone-chilling audio. They point the finger right back at Weir, considering he's the one who built the Event Horizon in the first place. But when they confront him, Weir plays totally dumb. Honestly, even he has no idea where the hell they actually end up when they punch through that black hole. Right around the same time, the crew finally manages to restore that video log. What they see is way beyond terrifying. The Event Horizon crew actually turned on each other, turning the whole fleet into an absolute bloodbath. These videos leave the captain completely shell-shocked. He shuts off the log and immediately orders everyone to prep for a fast exit. But right as Miller is getting ready to bail, it's like the ship knows exactly what they're up to. The hallucinations start getting more frequent and way more deadly. One of the female crew members actually falls to her death while chasing after one of her visions. And it's not just her. Dr. Weir gets completely taken over by the hallucinations again. He doesn't even want to leave anymore because his dead wife is here. He sneaks away with a bomb and rigs it on the rescue ship. A totally unsuspecting crew member accidentally sets it off. This kills 2 of their own and blows the rescue ship to absolute pieces. Miller rushes straight to the bridge. By now, Weir is completely possessed and has literally gouged his own eyes out. As the guy who created the Event Horizon, he finally realizes that the ship crossed back from some unknown realm of pure chaos. It actually came back alive and self-aware. That's exactly why the original crew went completely insane and slaughtered each other. He tells Miller that the Event Horizon literally came back from hell. Now, he wants to go see the world the ship has been to, but the captain and the surviving crew sure as hell don't want to go down with Weir's sinking ship. Miller orders 2 of his crewmates to head for the escape pods in the forward section. The captain steps up and decides to make the ultimate sacrifice. He triggers the explosives hooked up to the bridge, letting his crew escape in the front half of the ship. In the end, the captain hits the detonator, blowing himself up along with the doctor. With that massive explosion, he successfully saves his crew. And that's a wrap on the movie right there. This flick is actually directed by the same guy who did the Resident Evil movies, and it is seriously underrated. Some people even call it a supernatural sci-fi movie. It totally nails those classic sci-fi horror vibes that were super common back then, but it also dives deep into religion and human psychology. You could totally say it's an easily overlooked horror masterpiece.